Update. Am I the a-hole for going to my ex-daughter-in-law's wedding? Original post. I, 56, have 2 children. Bob, 30 male, and Alice, 27 female. And this post is about Bob. He used to be married to my daughter-in-law Ruth, 28 female. That is, until 5 years ago, when Ruth discovered that Bob was cheating on her while she was pregnant with my granddaughter. I was really disappointed in my son. I taught him to be better than this. I am a single mom/widow. My husband died years ago, and I have remarried only after my kids were in their late teens. And I know for sure my late husband wouldn't approve of Bob's cheating. So, long story short, Bob, Ruth, and I had a fight. I told him I was very disappointed in him. How could he do this to his own wife? Bob yelled at me and said that I am his mother, not Ruth's, so I should be taking his side. I said no, I will not support his infidelity under any circumstances. My daughter also thinks that her brother is wrong, but she is neutral about it. Bob got mad and left the house, and I only saw him at the divorce hearings. I left him messages that if he wants to talk, I would be open to talk, but he didn't respond to any messages. Ruth was an orphan. She didn't have anyone else, so she saw me as her mother. So even after the divorce, she would visit me and bring me some gifts like flowers or cookies. I never stopped her. Ruth also never stopped calling me mom even after her divorce, and I love spending time with her and my granddaughter. About 3 years ago, I set up Ruth with my friend Patty's son John. Patty and I have been close friends since childhood. She knew Ruth really well and loved her too, and it was her idea to set her son up with my daughter-in-law. Ruth and John totally hit it off, and John also became a good father figure to her daughter. Recently, John and Ruth got married, and Ruth wanted me to be there to walk her down the aisle. She told me she walked down the aisle alone when she married my son, but now she wants me to walk her down. I was happy for it, so I said yes. The news soon reached my son, and he called me to again yell at me that what I am doing is wrong. I shouldn't be talking to Ruth because she and him are divorced. He forbade me to go. I told him he was being irrational, that even if he's divorced, that doesn't mean I have to cut off Ruth, then remind him that it was his poor choice that led him to this. I didn't listen to my son and went to the wedding anyways. My son got the news and was angry that he kept cursing me that I'm a deadbeat mom who left her own son for a cheap woman. He called me a hypocrite that I didn't go to his wedding when he married his mistress but was gallivanting at Ruth's wedding. My husband is with me, but he says my son has a point while my daughter says otherwise. Was I wrong to go at her wedding? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Your son ruined your granddaughter's family because he wanted to sleep around. He no longer has any leg to stand on for anything. I'm really glad that you see the situation for what it is, and that you and Ruth have each other, not the a-hole. As a mother, it was a hard choice for me. I tried to be there for him, but his mistress was not a good person. She was a mutual friend of Ruth and my son. She knew that he was married, but still she pursued him. To me, that's not a quality woman. My soul couldn't just bring me to forget the fact that he was so cruel to Ruth when she was vulnerable. Not the a-hole. I can understand how not picking your child's side would make you feel like you did a wrong thing. Son sounds like a spoiled brat who's missing out on his child's life. Be there for your granddaughter and her mother. Also, put some distance between you and your son until he stops verbally mistreating you. You're doing the right thing. Your son doesn't want to feel like he's in the wrong and will not change till he can accept that truth about himself and want to change. Good luck, OP. A parent's job is to teach their kids the right thing. If I support his cheating, that would be enabling him, which I don't want to. For now, I am putting some distance. The last time I had any contact, I messaged him, "You should calm down first and then talk to me. I cannot have a conversation with you if you are acting like a child." You did right, but your son is too selfish to understand how failure he have been, and in fact married his mistress, and continued insulting the mother of his child proves it. You have principles and values. Unfortunately, too many people decide to act like nothing happens, but you did not, and good for you. Remind him that his mistress with a ring or not will never be accepted, and you refuse to be there until he decides to wake up and be the man/father he is supposed to be. He only pays child support, and I have hardly seen him spending time with his daughter. I hear Ruth complain about him always making excuses, and he only got more involved when my granddaughter was becoming close to John. I love my son, but I just wish he would have some decency. Edit/update. My son has emailed me to meet him. I guess I will have to meet him now. Now for the full update. First of all, thank you for all your comments. Although I got some late comments calling me a bad mom and a failure, it was nice to see people supporting me. It gave me strength to know I was not making a bad decision. So now on to the update. Azan emailed me and said he wants to talk to me. I thought I should have a long conversation with him, so I agreed. But I made some ground rules. He is not allowed to criticize or call anyone any names like the last time and will be civil when I am talking. And he agreed. He came to my house yesterday at noon while my husband was off to work and my daughter was in her room. He sat down and there were moments of awkward silence. He asked me how I was and we had a small talk. I then asked him about his wife, and that's when he started to cry. Not ugly cry, just few tears, but I can tell he is not doing well. So I sat beside him and told him he can tell me. Then he tells me everything. He tells me that he is sorry for how he reacted, that he understands why I might be ashamed of him. He later tells me his marriage is not going well, that his wife is no way near as good as Ruth was. Ruth took care of all his needs and loved him, yet he treated Ruth like trash. And now he is constantly fighting with his new wife. He knew he messed up a lot, which he learned the last time he visited his daughter and she kept referring John as her dad. Bob tried to make her say the word dad to him, and she screamed saying, "You are not my dad." He saw how much happy Ruth was with another man, and he realized what he has lost. I asked him, "Would you have missed Ruth if your wife did those same things for you like Ruth did?" He was silent. I further told him it seems to me that he only kept Ruth in his life because he used her to fulfill his needs. I explained to him about my relationship with his father. We were with each other, not because I fulfilled his needs. We were with each other because we loved each other. And that love didn't stop when one person was at the most vulnerable and weak. But he left Ruth when she was vulnerable and needed him the most. His needs were fulfilled when Ruth was just a housewife working a small job. But as soon as she's no longer needed, he discarded her. It really hit him hard as he was sobbing. He said that he knows he was an awful person, but he was manipulated by that witch, referring to his current wife. To be honest, I lost my cool and yelled that he should stop blaming other people for his mistake. It was his decision to cheat. It was his decision to leave Ruth. And it was his decision to abandon his daughter. He cannot run away from his responsibilities and wonder why nobody is taking his side. Moreover, he hasn't learned anything from his mistakes, because he is still calling his wife vile names. This is the same woman she claimed is better than Ruth. He had a choice not to cheat. He could have pushed her away when she tried to seduce him, but he didn't because in his mind, he made this fantasy that Ruth doesn't care about him, because all she ever wanted was to complete her education. I raised him better than this, and he is not just insulting my upbringing. He is also insulting his own father, and he will only see suffering in his life unless he takes full accountability of his actions. He told me he knows I was disappointed in him, and he wants to make things right. That he is trapped in a bad marriage because God is punishing him for how he treated his daughter and ex-wife. I told him that if he wants to be a good man, he should start by apologizing to Ruth and become cordial with his daughter. I also gave him a reality check that his daughter already sees John as her dad. So I have doubts she would start calling him dad anytime soon, but he would at least try. I told him to apologize to his sister as well. If he is really miserable in his marriage, he should get a divorce or try counseling. Whatever decisions he makes, I will support him. But that does not mean I will forgive his wife, because she has also did Ruth wrong. Unless she makes an apology to Ruth, I don't think I can see her as a decent person. Lastly, I told him that even though I am very disappointed in him, I still love him. I will always guide him to what is right. He will always be my son, but this is his chance to be a better man. I believe in second chances, and this time I hope he cleans up his act. I am proud of him that he acknowledges his wrongdoings. You're a good mom and person. Sometimes it's impossible to outparent patriarchal entitlement. My husband is a wonderful, supportive, loving guy who takes on 50% of the mental load and doesn't think he's a hero for doing so, while his brother is divorced with 2 little ones and just sucks. No cheating, but definitely a similar mindset of only valuing women for how they're supporting him. Same parents. You know, sometimes you can give everything you have, yet the kids will turn bad. You can't predict everything. I'm glad Opie made a mature decision. Opie, do your son a favor. Get some therapy recommendations for him and hand him the list. On things like this, one doesn't just clean up his act. That is vague.